Hi, my name is Sumi Kailasapathy. I'm running for Ann Arbor City Council, Ward 1. First of all, let me thank NCPOA for inviting us. I also want to thank the Mayor, Sandi, and Pat for being here, and all of you for coming over. And I really do believe in democratic debate, and I really think this is about, it's a fight over ideas. We are not fighting with people, but with over ideas. And you might think this is, how is this coming out of my mouth? All of you know that I'm a CPA, but I also have 2 graduate degrees in political economy from the New School for Social Research in New York. So I do have that liberal arts background, and I do value democratic debates, and I just want to make that very clear. So even though I believe that I can be the numbers expert on the city council when I get elected in November, but at the same time, I do believe as societies we make choices, and those choices are not always based on dollars and cents. So when we decide to accrete the Allen Creek Greenway, or when we decide not to privatize the Huron Hills Golf Club, it's because it's not always about money. It is always about the quality of life on what we choose. And I do have to share this with you. One of the very few first days when I went and started knocking on houses, one of the Ward 1 residents opened the door and we started talking, and he said, despite the fact this Fuller garage that's touted as being the transit center is coming up because everybody says we can be the next Chicago, he told me, you know that we can never be the next Chicago, right? I said, yes. And he said, do you know what we are racing to be? He said, we are trying to be a knockoff of Southfield. That's what we are becoming. He told me, promise me, put a stop to that. We don't want to be a knockoff of Southfield. Let's accrete Allen Creek. Let's build on what Ann Arbor is. That is the environment and nature and beauty and all that. So that is a prelude to just give you guys confidence that I'm not a plain bean counter. I do have values, and I do love Ann Arbor for what it is. And I don't want people to destroy it, and that's why I jumped into this race, okay? And Pat has covered a lot of issues. I do believe we are not making the right choices. And today's paper reported, Brian, that 4 firemen were laid off. And I personally think this is a poor choice, because we always have, one of the things we need to be doing is start a zero-based budgeting, meaning we start from the core services and core services that we need in the city. So if we believe a certain amount of fire and police have to be there, we start from there. Then we decide whether we have 11 million to dump in that Fuller garage or not. Otherwise, I mean, a person told me, I mean, we have our own Palanism here, Sarah Palanism. We have our dig baby dig in the underground parking lot and build baby build with all these ugly structures coming. And these are all poor choices. So I personally feel if I get elected, I will get it back to the core values. People tell me we want transparency, neighborhood after neighborhood. People said, we had a solution to this problem. We went to the city council, we got ridiculed for it. People are not listening to us. People who have opposed me at ideological level have still supported me. Go look at my endorsement list, because they feel I am committed, because I tell them right away, even though I disagree with them, I am against this whole density issue, but I will be open. I will be honest with you. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for coming. It's a beautiful summer evening in Ann Arbor, and I know that you've given up your opportunity to be on the deck and enjoying it, to be here and listening to us. And I thank the organizers, the NCPOA. I originally came to Ann Arbor for a student at the University of Michigan, and I chose to stay. And when I was 18, I couldn't tell you what it was about Ann Arbor that made me want to stay. What was it? But I can tell you now, and it's the high quality of living. It's the over 2,000 acres of parks that we have. It's a funkiness that we have. We have independent businesses. We've got a culture that's really empowering. We have progressive values. We have a very engaged and well-educated populace, as you can see from a packed room tonight. These are the quality of life issues that draws people to Ann Arbor, that keeps people to Ann Arbor. Now, a little bit about myself. In 2001, my partner, Linda Lombardini, and I started Trillium Real Estate. And just a year ago or so, we renovated an office building in Carytown. And we made a decision to make it as green and sustainable as we could. We selected all of our materials very carefully. We did a lot of the work ourselves, and it is a super green building that I am extremely proud of. And we live a block away from here. We live 2 blocks from our office. We have a very small footprint. We shop at local businesses. We shop at the co-op. Sometimes we shop at Zingerman's, if we can afford it. I'm very active in the community, and I have been for a long time. I've been on boards for nonprofits. I've been on task forces for the city. Joint city-county initiatives. I've taken leadership positions. These are important things to consider when you have times like these, is whether or not you've got experience. I currently serve on a number of committees for the city. I'm on the Housing and Human Services Advisory Board. I'm on the Council Rules Committee. I'm on the Downtown Development Authority, and I've served there for 6 years. And I was a past chair. Now, about Ann Arbor. The mayor has said very well, as a matter of fact, that so many cities across Michigan have been failing. Grand Rapids just voted to increase their income tax. They still laid off people. Royal Oak spent their reserves down to a very dangerous level. They had to negotiate with their city workers, and they still laid off people. And here in Ann Arbor, we managed to pass a budget, unanimously, by the way. We didn't close any fire stations. We didn't lay off any police officers. We didn't close pools like Grand Rapids. We didn't sell off any parks. We didn't raise the taxes. We were able to do this with property taxes that are declining. State revenue has been slashed, and the property at Pfizer was taken off the tax rolls. 4.86% of our taxes have been diminished by that purchase. Now, speaking of U of M, it's a world-class university, and I think that we should be very proud to have that here. It's not going away. It's an economic engine for the town. They just bought 174 acres, 30 buildings, 2 million square feet of research space. And the question that I have is to ask all of you, if we don't think that the university is going to generate growth in the city, what's the alternative? I really think that with that economic engine, what we have is an opportunity to define the growth that happens. We can decide how we grow. I favor compact growth. I like to maintain the charm and the pedestrian scale of the city. I think that's really important. I don't support suburban sprawl, something that's not sustainable, stretching beyond our resources. I favor thoughtful infill development. We get a diversification of housing stock when we do that. These are all very core Ann Arbor democratic values. And when you vote to re-elect me in August, I will support them.